Guilty by association, Facebook pitch, could help send a young man to prison for life. District Attorney Barney Dumas is using an abstract criminal statute to prosecute a group of San Diego men. The DA has admitted that some of the men had nothing to do with the underlying crimes at the heart of the case. A series of shootings by Lincoln Park gang members in 2013. Rather, they are charged with conspiracy for belonging to the same gang as the shooters. Aaron Harvey was leaving his Las Vegas apartment to get some food one day in July 2014 when suddenly men, SEAL Team 6, came out of nowhere. Pretty much. Guns drawn, dogs, helicopters. It was the U.S. Marshal who come to take Harvey back to San Diego. They told me, says Harvey, that I was wanted for murder in the state of California. Harvey said, I laughed. I started laughing. I told him, you got the wrong guy. Harvey isn't charged with murder. That's precisely why his case is so controversial. District Attorney Barney Dumas is using an obscure criminal statute, Penal Section 182.5, for what happens to be the first time ever in California to prosecute a group of 15 San Diego men, including Harvey. The DA has admitted that some of the men had nothing to do with the underlying crimes at the heart of the case. A series of shootings by Lincoln Park gang members in 2013. Rather, they are charged with conspiracy for belonging to the same gang as the shooters. For that, they could go to prison for life. Isn't that something? Sorry, I shouldn't have said that. It's guilty by association. Basically, and if federal law is any guide, it's perfectly constitutional. The law says a person who willfully promotes, furthers, assists, or benefits from a gang crime can be charged with conspiracy. The benefit Harvey received out of the shooting, according to the DA, is street credit. If someone in the gang commits a crime, the reasoning goes, the whole gang gets a boost to its reputation. They're saying, I benefit because my statue, my respect went up. I didn't even know I had any statue. I don't understand how someone can benefit from something they don't even know exists, said Harvey. It's not a qualifiable thing. There's no measure for stature. They're the ones qualifying it. Most of the attention on the case so far has centered on the rapper, Tiny Duke, whose real name is Brandon Dukin, because some of the evidence tying Dukin to the Lincoln Park gang includes his own lyrics. His case has pulled at the heartstrings of everyone from music critics to legal scholars. Rapper Tiny Duke facing long prison sentence over lyrics. All right, that is the case I want to talk about. 182.5 Penal Code System. And I'm here today to talk with one of my good friends and sisters, Kelly Harvey. And I want everybody to just say hello to Kelly. I'm going to tell y'all right now, she is nervous. She ain't never did anything like this. So I'm going to make her feel like she's at home. Because, believe it or not, Kelly Harvey is more like a surrogate family in San Diego for my family. In fact, my kids called her Auntie Kelly. So I got a phone call full of calls from my children talking about, tell Auntie we on our side, tell Auntie Kelly what we're doing for her, Mom. Tell we got him on our page. We're fighting for Aaron. So, hi Kelly. I the reason I called you and I said we got to talk about this because my heart just went plump when I heard that this was happening to Aaron. Because out of all the people in the world, this could happen to. Aaron is one of the kids that you have that think entrepreneur. He's the kid that's always trying to be somebody. I remember when he was playing football, how good he was, you know, and how he had won a scholarship to go to school to play football. This is the kid, the police done broke down the door trying to get in. I said, Lord Jesus, they coming after one of our best. And when, I know when my son got into it, you were the first one there. And how that we have just always been by each other's side, no matter what. So when I heard this happen to Aaron, because you had called me and said, I'm coming to stay with you because I need to talk, you know. I was just thinking, well, this is what we do every 10 years. We get together for some reason. I didn't know what you were going through. But when the thing hit the bottom and I heard what was happening, and it was Aaron, oh my God. I said, Lord, please don't let these people send him to jail. Please don't let, but you know what? I thought about things that had happened in the past, how some things called signal to us what time it is. Right. What time it is. And you fought for him, you and your husband, Harvey, you call him Harvey. And Harvey, it just happened to be best friends with the man I was married to for 30 years, Sandra Profit. And so we've been like family forever. To hear Wayne stand up on that courthouse and tell the people, I want y'all to get ready. I want you to call this lady and tell her what you want. He stood up. I said, there go the man. Because see, usually when they take kids to prison, the kid don't have a father. Right, absolutely. He's not living in the house with his mother. You know, they out there doing everything. But this boy had both father and mother at home, being raised in church, you know, had everything going on. We're not calling him perfect because he is not perfect by no. We know he's not perfect, but he do not deserve to go to jail. We knew that. So when Harvey stood up on the courthouse and told us what to do, it's time. The time is right now to say no to the justice system.
And we gave them Bonnie Dumonis's number. My Aaron had the number on speed dial. And we had cards with her numbers on it, and we told her, call her right now.
Call her.
Call her, and leave a message, because it was a Sunday. So they called, and everybody was on their cell phones calling, leave a message.
Leave a message. Because we're saying no.
Exactly.
Because people don't realize, these young people today may not realize that back in the day, I mean, you just went to jail.
Exactly.
You just went to jail.
Yeah.
If they thought you were part of a crime, they didn't even have to prove it. We got thousands of people in jail today for something somebody thought that they did. But we didn't, you know, back in the day, parents didn't have the money to fight for their kids, but they came against the wrong people. Because we don't care about the house, we don't care about our shoes, we don't care about our cars, we don't care about nothing. We would get our blankets and go sleep at the prison before we let you take our son. So that's what they ran into.
Right, they ran into the wrong family. We're the wrong one.
We're the wrong one.
We're fighting not only for Aaron, but we're fighting for all the kids in the community. And not just our community, but we're going outside of our community. We're going outside Lincoln Park. We're going into the Skyline areas, into the Byline Brim areas, which is South Crest, to get these youth and tell them and educate them on the 182.5, because they're not educated. These kids need to be educated on the 182.5 because it could have been her son or your son, part of this 182. So we need to go beyond just Lincoln Park. Right. We got to go to all the areas and bring these kids in and say, hey, look, this is what could happen. We need to educate them on the 182.
Wow. And the 182 is simply a section in this code that you don't have to do the crime. All you got to do is be associated with somebody who did the crime.
Absolutely.
And they would come and get you as if you were already in that game and doing what they do. They don't, and that's why we were surprised, because I was raised in a low-income neighborhood. So I knew everything that was going on down there. This is a part of what we do down there, you know. I didn't know it was low income until I got to the other income. know, the judge had put me out once before. They put me out when my son was going through.
Right.
Because I was going, thank you, Jesus.
Right.
Hallelujah. That man said, put out of the courtroom. But one of the things I had to leave for, because the man said, the DA said, well, his grandmother lives in the neighborhood right on the corner. I said, what? You're going to charge him because his grandmother lives in the neighborhood on the corner where all the stuff, I was like, God,
That's where the DA was wrong anyway, because she doesn't live on the corner.
Right. She did, I knew.
Yeah.
I was like, because they can make up things.
And they
can make up things. They can say anything to make their case look good.
Yeah.
Anything
Make sure you record, because this thing is starting to stop.
They can do. But you know, another thing that bothered me about this case was that here is Aaron. God sends us Aaron because everybody that know Aaron know what kind of person he is. And I don't talk to Aaron, but every time I say, hey, Sister Prophet, I love you, we give each other the great big hug that we do. Everybody that know him know he is not the one.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that he is a family man, and, you know, hard worker, would go work anywhere to make money, to take care of his baby or whatever he had, take care of his family. And it just bothered me that they just pulled somebody. You know, and that this kid, we had to now say to ourselves, are we going to let him fall like that? Are we going to, and I like how this thing has grown me, because we would have never seen this Aaron and not been for this. That young man stood on the courthouse, took a stand on the courthouse. Oh my God. Let me read to you all what he said. Oh my God, I was so proud of him. I said, look at my baby. He said, be careful. They don't want to say that my family and I are college football athletes with college scholarships. They don't want to talk about the education that we have. They see these pictures, they see the signs, but they don't talk about our education. They actually, let me see what they said. They automatically say that we're gang members. Gangs were established, he said, in the 70s as part of my community. He said, in high school, they wear green. To support, we wear green. He said, we represent our community. The gang has adopted these things. We did not adopt the gangs. They adopted us. Nor do we accept what they do. I asked the media and the journalists to report the truth. Don't be on my side, he says, because I don't want that. He said, don't be on the DA side. I don't want that. He said, report the fact and let the people make the decision. I said, listen at this boy. Boy, they made a man out of him quick, didn't they?
Absolutely.
And it just goes to show how intelligent he is.
Yeah.
And that's how we do things. We don't want you to be on our side. We don't want you to be on the side. We want you to be on the side that's right. And that's why I came in the picture, because I'm not going to just be on anybody's side. I'm on the right side. I want you to report what's right. He deserves that. Our kid deserves that. What people don't realize is that this has been going on in our communities for a long time. Some of our kids have been charged as adults at 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And I think why Aaron hit me the hardest is because my best friend went to jail at 16. And he was charged as an adult in his situation. He was in no way prepared. It's like taking this young man and charging him as an adult. He's going, can you look at him? How do he look being charged as an adult? He's a young boy. And they've been doing that for years and years until, you know, some of the Caucasian kids started being charged as an adult. When you send a 9, 10-year-old white kid then you got to think twice. Oh, now this is what we're doing. And I don't want that to happen to any kid. I don't want that to happen to nobody's kid. You know, but it sure did happen to our kids, and have been going on for years and years. You know, sending kids to prison at 16. But back to the Pentecost. But I'm just saying all that to say this. You know, they've been hurting us like this in the court system for a long time. And I couldn't do nothing nothing for my friend, but I could do something for Aaron.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it ain't nothing, but say, I'm gonna be there at that courthouse.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And Lord Jesus, I was so happy that you guys didn't care what you had to do. You was gonna fight. That's right. You were gonna stand for him. Now, this is an opportunity for us now to tell the world how we feel about our children. Because apparently you don't know.
Well, with Aaron, they know. Because we've been there every step of the way, so the community knows that we are definitely family oriented because they know Daddy's been there every step of the way, Mama's been there, may not been speaking, but Mama's right there on the side. So it's like they got the wrong parent. And we're not just fighting for Aaron, but we're fighting for all the kids.
Right.
Not
right.
just us,
Yes.
it's all of us.
Right.
So we're going to be a parent like we should to all these kids.
Wow.
We need to be a parent to all these kids who don't have, you know, who may be a single mother who don't know, okay, my son is caught up into this so-called gang that they say, and we need to educate the mothers on how to deal with this. So this is also educating me on, okay, this is my son, so now we need to reach out to the parents. Who are single parents.
So who actually need some help. Because I was thinking about my brother-in-law was sent to prison as an adult at 14. You know, God, girl, listen. You know, one of the reasons I came out the church, not that I've left the church, I'll go on Sunday, but my whole thing is about coming down here, anybody that will listen to me, you know what I'm saying? Trying to get people to think. We setting ourselves up. Think, because it's not just about church for me. It has never been, and I think that's why I didn't never fit in. That's why, you know, because it's always been about my community.
And that's how it should be.
Yeah.
Clergy.
Yeah, it's really been about my community. I can't take just being in church on Sundays and clapping, which I need to go. Lord, please let me go to church Sunday. But my church is here, reminding young people that you're somebody. That you're somebody, and I'm rich. I ain't even got to see it. You ain't got to tell me I'm wealthy. So I got enough to give everybody. All y'all got to do is come and listen to what I'm trying to tell you. That ceiling that everybody think is there, it's not there. It's imaginary. You know what I'm saying? We used to have the ceiling there. We used to say we can't do nothing because the white man that hemmed us up. We can't go this far because we can't get this job or we can't do this. Well, honey, now the devil is a lie.
That's right.
Yes,
You can go to school and get an education.
Yes,
now.
you can.
The white people.
Yes, you can.
You can do it, and you can do it better.
Yes, you can.
Yes, you can. There's no ceiling up. There is no ceiling up there anymore. That ceiling been knocked down by the death of Martin Luther King. It's been knocked down by the Rosa Parks sitting down in that seat. She sat down in that seat on that bus, honey, even though Emmett Till had been lynched. You see what I'm saying? She knew he had been lynched when she sat down anyway. Sometimes you have to, that's why I said when Aaron said no, and you said, his parents said no, it was the same thing as Rosa Parks sitting down in that seat. Oh, girl, don't start me. You know me. I'll get the Jesus. That's why I had to be there. Because I knew it was a signal to us to say no. And you can't just do it by yourself. You need everybody to say no. You need everybody to say no. That 182 is just another law to get to our kids and get to our people. Because who else you know gonna be throwing up gang signs or wearing colors? You know what I'm saying? Who else you know gonna be doing that? Who do you know? So who is it for? And why is it for? And I'm not mad at the lady, the DA. I'm not mad at her because she don't know no better. This something she feel like she's doing that is so right. But you know what? It's not right. It doesn't make it right because it's on the book. You knew that boy did not have evidence.
Well, and that's what she said. She knows.
She knew he didn't have evidence. So, you know, me thinking, if you're morally right, if you don't have evidence, why would you take his life from him like that?
Association. By association.
By association.
I knew he didn't do this. I knew he wasn't here when the crimes were committed.
He wasn't even here.
He wasn't here. But by association, because you know them.
And let me tell you how I know times are changing. Let me tell you how I know the time is now for us to take a stand. Because that judge saw straight through every one, all 15. How many was in there that day? However many was in there that day. He saw through. He didn't let them lump those cases. See, they were used to lumping cases.
Right.
But he didn't let them lump the cases. He took each case individually, and every time they got to Harvard, they said, where is the evidence?
That's right.
Did the judge do it?
Yes, he did.
Where is
Where's
the
the
evidence?
Right. Where's the evidence?
And every time they came to Harvard, where is the evidence? Now, somebody had a little of this and somebody had a little of that, but every time they got to Harvard, where is the evidence?
That's right.
But Judge, his grandmother stayed on 52nd Street. We were like, what? You gonna send him to prison for life because his grandmother stayed on what street?
Okay.
And the baby told me, shh. I said, oh Lord, let me get out of here before I go to jail. Let me get out of here.
Yeah.
I go and get my car because they didn't send me to jail. Because they say grandmama one more time. Ooh, Jesus.
Exactly.
Lord, give us strength.
You're excited.
I could barely sit there. That's why God didn't let me out of work early when y'all got there at 9. Because the Lord knows I probably would have been in jail by 12.
Yeah.
So I said, thank you, Jesus. I got there when I did. They had already dropped at least 4.
Yes.
And by the time I left, they was at 7. And how many was it? How many
15.
15 charges. Looking at a life sentence over 182.5.
You're looking at 1, 2, 4, 5 for something you did not do.
Something he did not do.
And something that they're charging them for 9 shootings. Nobody got killed. They never found the weapon. So where did the 9 shootings happen? And they don't even know about them.
They don't even know. And see, that just goes to show how much we think about our children. That's why we got Trayvon.
Yeah.
That's why we have Ferguson. Because they got it in their minds, we don't care about our children. We may not act like we care, but believe me,
Oh, then
we care. Oh
yeah,
my God, we care. We care, and we're coming a long way. We've come through a lot. We still got a long way to go. But when you're coming after these children, you better think, you better have evidence.
Yes.
You know, you can't go and take our kids and just take them out the house like you used to. This time, you know what? I wish there was a way we could sue the DA. You know what I'm saying? Because not only did they bring him out of his house, what about going to work every day, having to pay your rent?
Lost all that.
You see what I'm saying? What about your family?
Yeah.
You know? What about everything that he had to go through and you didn't have one single? There ought to be a law that, I hope that's probably my phone. Where's my phone? Forget it. But anyway, the thing about it is, I just believe that something should be done when people can just bring our kids and lump them in this thing and let it be known that you're not going to just do that. You know what I'm saying? If they don't have evidence, why can't we get our money back?
Absolutely.
You know, you had to put money out for lawyers.
Absolutely.
What's your problem? Why can't you pay for the lawyer? If you don't have evidence, why can't you just pick us up and say, I think you done a crime? And I've been in criminal justice classes. The way they think about us is really weird. You know what I'm saying? Because they only think about African Americans, what they do and how they do things. You know, but the worst criminals have been people, you know, not African descent. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, oh my God, what are we gonna do? You know? Yeah, we have to come up with something because it's important that America, not just California, but America across the board, Mississippi, Alabama, Arkansas, that you know we love our children. We love our children. We love, you know, that we love the ones that are in prison. You know what I'm saying? Just because they're going away from us doesn't mean that we don't care. We just didn't know how, you know, to help them.
Exactly.
And I say to our children, I say to you, you have to stop playing in their hands. You got to stop playing in their hands. You got to come up. Our kids sometimes afraid to go in our neighborhood. One sister told me about her son having to change his shirt 2, 3 different times as the trolley goes from one neighborhood to the other. So he's changing his shirt to go to these neighborhoods. I think we got to stop hurting each other. Number one. Number two, I think we need to consider God. Consider that God is on our side. He's been on our side since slavery. A lot of things that's going on, we've passed it down from slavery. You know what I'm saying? Like the first game wasn't in 1970. The first game was Nat Turner running from the white man when they had to kill. You know what I mean? Because they trying to kill us. So that wasn't the first game. That ain't gonna be the last game. But I'm telling you today that, you know, I believe there's a shift. There's a shift that we can now do something different. We don't have to break the laws, you know? And I think that you got to think higher, because now we're blessed. You know what I'm saying? Now we're blessed. Now, I mean, we've always been a blessed people, because even during slavery, if you've seen us, they were Frederick Douglass. He was still, you know, strong, even in slavery. Slavery never stopped us. You know what I'm saying? No. We still were strong. And I think it's the same thing with our young people, that out of all the stuff that you know been through, been in prison when you were 16, you know, tried as an adult, you've been, the police done beat you, you know, they've done stopped us. Aaron said they stopped him over 50 times. Over 50 times. And look at you now. You still doing great things. You still standing. We have always, through all atrocity, been able to stand against all. And today is no different. But this time you can take a stand a different way. This time, all you got to do now is start educating yourself. Education is the great equalizer. God and education. Can't nobody do nothing with an educated man. That's why they couldn't do anything with Frederick Douglass. That's why they couldn't do anything with Martin Luther King. That's why they couldn't do anything with Malcolm X. They wanted to kill them brothers. You know what I'm saying? Because they were highly educated. You can't do anything with an educated man. And you know what? I heard this story, and then I'm going to stop. Because we would have been talking an hour yet. Are we talking yet? No? Anyway, but I was thinking about a little girl whose parents, she was in Harvard, she's telling her story. And she said that when she was 8, her mother was drug addicted. And she said, 8 years old, I knew I had to take care of myself. There was nobody to take care of me. So she said she had to take care of herself. They were homeless. And she said that by the time she was 15, she realized, okay, I don't have to stay on the street. I can go to the library. So, you know, when you're homeless, you want to stay around everybody, all the dirt, the crime. But instead, she took herself to the library. She said when she would go to school, she would be dirty. But she didn't care. She went to the library and she went to school. Then there were 2 families that helped take care of her. But they didn't know she was homeless. She never told them till she was in Harvard that she was homeless. But those 2 families helped her. But what she said really, really has stuck with me throughout the years. That's my phone, you guys. It has stuck with me. Is she said that she took responsibility for herself. She took responsibility for herself. She took responsibility for herself at 15. And she began to study. And she studied so hard till she got a scholarship to Harvard. You see what I'm saying? This is homeless. You know, this is how much power you have in yourself. You don't have to sit up and accept the ceiling is down. The ceiling is broken. It's imaginary. It's not real. All I'm telling you today, your responsibility lies on you. It don't matter. You are your own person. On the inside of you, you have the ink of emancipation on the inside of you. You are a free being. You are a free moral agent. You can say